Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up email routing or email forwarding on your domain on Cloudflare. In a previous video, I showed you how you can get your domain set up on Cloudflare, and I'm going to assume that your domain is already on Cloudflare, and I'm going to show you how to set up email routing so you can have your own custom email addresses and forwarded to any email address that you like. So it's a very useful thing, and it could make your business look more professional. So there's a whole lot of benefits. So let's get started. So if you're logged in, for example, I have exampleeshop.com, and again, I already showed in a previous video, I showed how to get this domain on Cloudflare. So you're going to select the domain, and the next step you're going to do is on the left, there's an email section, and you're going to go to email routing. And it should show you something like this. So get started. And basically, it's going to say get started with email routing. Create a custom email address. Add the custom email address. Okay, so this is just the first one. And we've got to get started here. So let's say, for example, example 1. And okay, so we don't have that yet. I'll show you how to do it. Let's get started here. Okay, so we'll go back here. I'm going to go to enable email routing, and you have to add the records. So you don't have to really understand what this means, other than this is some DNS stuff. So you're going to click on add records and enable. Okay, so the DNS records are now enabled. And if you really wanted to, you can go back to the DNS and look them up. They have now been added. So these MX records are for email, and these are some other records have been added, DKIM and SPF. We don't really need to know what those mean. So we'll go back to email routing. Okay, so this is good. Now go to routing rules. And then we're going to do, okay, so first thing we need to do is have a destination email address. So these are the email addresses that will, okay, so I wanted to explain the concept a little bit more. So the destination email addresses are the email addresses that Cloudflare will forward to. So for example, some email address at gmail.com. And then you can have the custom email addresses. So here it says custom email addresses, and destination addresses are the ones that you want forwarded to, and you'll choose based on each different custom email address you create. So for example, yeah, so if you created example 1 at example.com and this was on Cloudflare, if somebody sent an email to that email address, it could forward to this one. So I'm going to, I made a new email. Okay, so I made some new email addresses for this video. I made some new accounts just to test it. But for right now, I just want to make, have one destination address be this. And this will be, this is a temporary, email address. So go save, and I'll show you here. So it's a temporary email address, and it says it's waiting verification, pending verification. So you'll get an email like this. It says verify the account. So verify email address. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on it. Okay, so you'll click on it, or you can copy the URL like I just did. And it's going to ask you maybe one more step, or maybe a few more to just really verify that that's the forwarding a destination address. So I've just confirmed this here. So this is just one address, and again, this is just a temporary email address. This is one of those throwaway ones. Okay, so Now we have one that we just confirmed it's a forwarding. So we can have custom email addresses made that can forward to this. And I want to show you one example here. So let's create an address. Let's say first one. So I'll have first one at exampleeshop.com. And right now we have this. Previously there was none, so it wouldn't do it. But you can do send to an email, and we'll save. So if anyone, so if anyone sends an email to first one at exampleeshop.com, it'll forward to that. Okay, and I'll make a new email. So I want to just test it. So go. I'm sending this from a Microsoft account. This is an example email to test. Okay, I'm going to block that. Let's see here. Okay, so I just sent it. And again, this is the custom email address. So it's going to forward to that. And let's go back to it. So if we come back here, let's see if it's actually going to forward. And it worked. So it says I sent it from that Hotmail account. And I said, this is an example email to test. This is an example email to test. So it just confirmed that that worked. So that's fantastic. And let's create one more. Custom email address. So we'll call this one second. I'll call it second at exampleeshop.com. And let's forward it to this one. So again, now let's, and just to confirm it's, I don't want to make this video too complicated. So I want to send another email. Let's go second at exampleeshop.com. This is yet another email. Can you see it? All right, we'll send that. And let's go back to see if it's going to be received. Okay, maybe it didn't like that this is also the same receiving email, so I'm going to try a different address. I'm going to try sending it to this one. This is another temporary one. I'm going to send a temporary message. Or maybe it went to spam. I don't know. I don't know why it didn't get sent. Maybe it went to spam. That could be why. Hopefully this goes through. Will it work? Hopefully. Okay, so I'm testing it on yet another email address. And let's see if it works. Okay. Yeah, so this one just went through and it just got sent just a moment ago. Will it work? Hopefully. Okay, fantastic. So, as I mentioned, so I just showed you one destination email address, but you can create several different destination. Okay, I guess it allows you 200 destination addresses. That means you can forward to 200 different email addresses. And then each time you make a new custom email address, you have to choose which email it will forward to. So, and I don't know if there's a limit on the number of custom email addresses. Maybe there is a limit. I don't know that they've, but let's just say that the limit is very high. There might be hundreds or thousands of email addresses you can make. And this is also very useful because you can also use this as kind of a temporary email. And then if you want to stop using it, you can just delete it. So for example, here I just said delete. So it will no longer work. So if I try to send it to, let's just try to send out another one here. Second, yeah, we'll try to, let's say, will it bounce? Okay, so I've now deleted this forwarding email address. I deleted second@exampleeshop.com, and it should no longer work. So I should get some kind of error message that said it failed or something like that. Let's see if it might take a few seconds. Okay, so I got an email here. It said it rejected the message because basically the second@exampleeshop.com doesn't exist, basically. So the email server rejected it. I also sent another one just to test it, and it also got a similar message because this email address no longer exists, so the email got rejected. So this video was, again, how to set up email routing or email forwarding on Cloudflare. It's free to use. It's really great. And I highly recommend you set it up if you want to have an email routing on your site, assuming that your domain is on Cloudflare. There's many reasons to use this. It could, this is potentially more professional than like a Gmail account. You could have your name at yourbusinessname.com or something like that. And one of the big advantages of this is that you don't need to know how to set up an actual email server. You don't need to know about all these different records so much. You can have it done automatically. And one of the other big advantages is that you can make many different custom email addresses, and if you decide you want to delete it, you can delete it, and you can forward to, currently it says up to 200 different destination email addresses, so that means you can forward up to 200 different email addresses, and it's very useful. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.